On today's video, I'm going to teach you the 5 requirements to qualify for the O1 working visa to work in the United States. So if your dream is to land a job here in America, watch this video to the very end that I guarantee you that it will solve all your doubts and make your life towards landing a job here way easier. Hello Brazil! Hello world! My name is Marcelo, I'm a Brazilian copywriter working here in the US, and this is Publicitário na Gringa, a channel where I tell you how I landed my job in America and how you can do the same. The O1 visa, also known as Extraordinary Abilities Visa, is the most common way that people in advertising land a job in the US, basically because different than the H1B that depends on luck, and the L1 visa that depends on transferring from another company, the O1 visa depends only about the quality of your work and how good you are at your job. But well, how do you prove to the American government that you are an amazing professional, that you are an extraordinary alien, as they call? That's what I'm going to tell you here. So there are 5 things that you need to have in order to qualify, and we're going to go one by one here. Requirement number 1, awards. Well, that's pretty obvious, right? The easiest and strongest way to show to the government that you are an extraordinary alien in the field of advertising is by being recognized by some of the main award shows in the industry. So Cannes Lions, DNAD, Clio's, and the One Show. If you win award in 1 or 2 of these shows, it's already a very strong sign that you have extraordinary abilities. So your chances already increase by a lot. But one thing that is important to know is that it's not enough to just say, oh, I won, or like just to point in the award show website, like, oh, my name is there. You need to ask for a certificate for the award. So before you land a job here, before you receive an offer, make sure to contact by email or by phone all the award shows and ask for a certificate. All of them are very used to this, so most of them will send you a PDF that is a certificate for free. Some of them, I guess the only one that comes to my mind is the Clio's. They will charge you a small fee for that, but it's totally worth it because you will need it, and having a certificate will improve a lot your chances of being approved in the O1 visa. Another thing important to highlight is that you don't need to be the most awarded professional in the industry. You don't need to have 10 Grand Prix. You don't need to have like 1,000 awards in all the award shows. You just need to have some awards from some of the main award shows. So if you have some shortlists, if you have some bronze, if you have some silver, that's already good enough, and you're most likely will be able to qualify for the O1 visa. Requirement number 2, recommendation letters. Even if you're that guy with 10 Grand Prix at Cannes, you will most likely need some recommendation letters from big names in our industry that can certify that they know you and that your work is above the average of our industry. So you will probably have to talk with former bosses, former teachers that have some name in the industry, so they can basically prove that they can recognize in you the abilities that are usually related to the best professionals in our industry. The number of letters that you need, it varies depending on the other requirements that you have. So the more, of course, the more awards that you have, the less recommendation letters. But the number usually is between 6 to 12. Of course, the more awards, the less recommendation letters, but you should expect something around 6 to 12 letters. And these letters are co-written. Actually, it's not just the person or just you. It's something that comes first from the lawyers, then you make some adjustments, then you submit to the actual author, and then they basically write the final version with their own touch and their own opinions. But it's something that usually goes first through the lawyers because they know what needs to be told, what the government wants to hear. Then you add a little bit of what you think is your stronger traits, and then the person can give their final twist and say, okay, this is what I want to recommend you for. Step number 3, publications. And this is the beauty of working in advertising, because our work is basically something that the general public sees, that the masses sees. Chances are that a lot of your work have been published either at Ad Age or at your local creative club. If you're from Brazil, probably Clube de Criação or CCSP, as we say. But the easiest way to know all your publications, just Google your name. Put your name on the internet and see what appears, and just starts compiling all the links into one file that you can provide to your lawyers, so they can basically add to the petition, showing that your work is something that is bespoke, that people have seen, that different websites have seen, and it doesn't have to necessarily be just ad publications. My petition, for example, includes a long copy that I wrote and was published on a basketball blog, but was a big basketball blog, was of course a Nike long copy for Michael Jordan, so there was a fit there, but they just want to see like people are talking about your work, and that's good enough. But since this is like the easiest one to get as many publications as possible. And here's another tip that I have for you. If right now you have 0 publications and you're like, oh my god, how am I gonna get that? Try to send your work whenever you have a side project, when you have a personal project, send an email to your local creative club. So for example, I sent a lot of my side hustles, a lot of my personal projects to Clube de Criação, and they were very nice and very receptive to making a small note about that. So that starts to put your work in the internet, to start putting your work on the mouth of people, so they can see that you're known in the industry, which helps when the government is assessing whether or not you're an extraordinary alien. Requirement number 4, a job offer. This one was actually a surprise to me when I first learned about this. I always thought that you first qualified for the visa and then you look for a job offer, but turns out it's exactly the opposite. Although some people get a visa before they have a job offer, that's not what I recommend. A lot of places will not accept your working visa if it's not directly related to them. So before you start filing your petition with your awards, with your publications, with your recommendation letter, you need to have an official offer from your employee that will most likely support you. So they will probably pay the lawyers, they will probably pay the petition, and they're the ones that need to file the petition with the government, not you. So don't waste your money filing a petition for yourself. It will most likely not be accepted for employees. So first, land a job and then start working with the visa. I know it's kind of stressful, it sounds wrong, but that's the right process, and that's what will keep you out of trouble. And last but not least, requirement number 5, a valid passport. No, it sounds stupid, it sounds insane. Who doesn't have a valid passport but is looking for a job abroad? Well, I know a few, and it's very important to highlight that if you don't have a valid passport, you can file a petition, and what you need to have in mind is that once a company offers you a job, they want to do the process as quick as possible, and they can't get started if you don't have a passport. So make sure that you have a valid passport. It needs to have at least 6 months of validity. Otherwise, it will not be approved. So please renew your passport. Otherwise, the company might just withdraw the offer because, okay, we can't wait for you. These were the 5 requirements to qualify for the Extraordinary Ability Working Visa. If you like this type of content, if you want to land a job here in the US, make sure to click on the little ball on this side so you become a subscriber and you receive a notification every time we have a new video, Monday and Friday. And if you want to start right now to binge all the content and learn how you can land a job here, click in the card on this side where you can find all the tips that we've created until now for the channel. And that's it. See you in the next video. Peace.